60K in 10 days, 40K in a day, and $60,000 in 10 days is what has been flowing through Here We Grow in our expansive season of wild quantum growth. In this live, I'm going to be dropping in with you around the magic and the medicine, the science, and the juice on what it takes to collapse time to create what you used to in a year, now in a day, which is what happens inside of my world, inside of Here We Grow, and where I'm going to be guiding you and holding you and showing you through this expansion portal that is coming up on Wednesday in Edge of Expansion. So if you're not already inside Edge of Expansion, make sure that you DM me or comment on this edging and join us for this free wealth expansion portal. So this time feels very monumental because it's one of those full circle moments where you really get to see what is possible with yourself, with your leadership. Hello, Joy. Hello, Evie. Hello, beautiful beings. If you're here watching live, drop a comment. Let me know that you're here. If you're watching the replay or the reslay, let me know in the comments that you are watching the replay. So this is one of those full circle moments where you realize what is possible when you really go big and you rise beyond the edge of the limits that your body, your nervous system has known because it has felt more comfortable or more safe or more familiar to stay within the bounds that your body is used to. So, for example, some of you might feel really comfy or familiar with 5K months, 10K months, 20K months, 30K months, 50K months, 100K months. And as you lean into and stretch yourself into even the feeling of the possibility of 100K, 200K, 300K, multiple millions, notice in this moment how your body responds to the bigness of the wildest wealth that you can imagine and that you can tap into as a possibility for yourself. The reason this is one of the full circle moments that I've been having is because 5 years ago, I was here in Costa Rica, as I am now, and the idea, the transmission to birth my own business came through for the first time. And I felt the jungle telling me, this is where you are called to, this is what's next, this is what's meant for you, while there was a lot of resistance. Moved through the resistance, the fear, the doubts, all of the confusion that happens as we're in a massive up level. And this is what happens when people step into my world. You have the activation, you have the initiation, and all of the old stuff tends to come up because it's ready to be cleared, it's ready to be alchemized, it's ready to be released, because your body can't hold more of your power while it's holding old fear and old patterns and old stress responses to life, to money, to wilder wealth. So 5 years ago, when I was here in Costa Rica and Here We Grow came through, I knew in my heart and my soul that the mission, the vision that I had was going to require me to expand massively in my capacity to hold not only myself, but to hold my community, to hold money, to circulate it, to steward it, to invest it in ways that were in alignment with my soul, my spirit, my heart. And that required a deep level of realness, getting raw and real around what my relationship is with money, what it was with money. And this is what I'm inviting you into. You can only experience the wildest overflow that your body and your nervous system actually feels liberated within. This is why the people who come into my world, maybe 3K months or 50K months or 100K months, have already been something that your body has experienced, but it has experienced it in a way that was stressful, that was anxious or that you were feeling avoidant. There wasn't an intimacy that had been cultivated in your relationship with money. And because of that, it makes it so that when you're tapping back into the wildest overflow or a higher flow, cash flow to circulate through your system, there's an edge of resistance that your body is leaning up against. And when it's up against the edge, what most people do is back out, lean out, pull away. But what the people in my world do inside of Here We Grow, like yourself, who are big, bold leaders who take steps into the unknown, who rise beyond the fears, who alchemize all of the stuff that shows up, is you know that the resistance is your indication to rise beyond the edge. A few weeks ago, I was leading my Wealth Codes portal. Extraordinary portal, by the way. You can buy it separately and we can talk about that if you're interested. It's a really powerful program. I was leading that program while I was going through some of the scariest experiences of my entire life. I was going in and out of the urgent care because of an infection that was not going away with antibiotics while I was holding and facilitating this experience for the women inside. Simultaneous to me experiencing the most physical pain and discomfort that I had experienced in my life in a really vulnerable space with myself and with my body, where I was terrified of what was going to happen with my body and the way that my body was working to heal itself. My nervous system was still expanding and I was still edging myself into expansion with my nervous system through the exact Wild Overflow method that I teach my clients and that I'm going to be teaching you inside of Edge of Expansion. And what happened was, as I was in the ER, about to go into a really scary procedure, feeling so tender and also feeling so powerful, is I co-created a 40K day. And I've created high months before, high days before, but this particular experience is really important because it was the depth of which I was able to hold and expand my own body and my nervous system to receive and steward higher flows of money while going through something that was terrifying, that was very challenging, that really 98% of people would have been like, you know what? I'm going to lean out. I'm going to take this time to not show up, to not go all out, to not XYZ. All of the reasons why the 98% of humans who don't create massive change. But rather, I chose what if I practice what I preach, what I teach, what I coach my clients in, that creates what they used to in a year, now in a day, now in a week? What if I practice this with myself in this most challenging experience that I can imagine myself being in right now, and show up with my full heart, with my full soul? And what happened was a 40K day. And because I held myself, and because I had liberated my nervous system and expanded my nervous system to weave in pleasure amidst the pain, amidst the fear, amidst all of the real full spectrum humanness that comes, the messy, the imperfect, the raw, the real. As you know, if you're in my world, it's not about being perfect or polished. It's about being true to yourself and in integrity and authenticity with yourself and with your people. So I told my people, and I was still showing up. And because of that, the up level went from the 40K day to the 60K in less than a week. Over a week. And this is what's possible for you when you step into my world, when you choose to rise beyond the edge of expansion, when you choose to become the kind of woman, become the kind of leader who is revolutionary in how you move through the world, where you don't allow things to stop you, you allow them to fuel you. And this is why, 5 years ago, when I first came to Costa Rica, I was living in New York. It was such an intense, stressful hustle vibe of my life. I was working hard. I was in my master's at NYU. I was working at a nightclub till 4 a.m., 4 days a week. My nervous system was in massive burnout, and I needed to go deep within my own body and heal and rewire and re-encode my entire relationship with money on a nervous system level in order to co-create the kind of relationship that I have now with wealth and the kind that my clients have, especially those who are in my closest proximity spaces like Wild Overflow, who have been blowing up in Wild Overflow Wealth Mind. It's been so fucking phenomenal. What happens is that when you rewire your nervous system to relate to wilder money, not from the place of, oh, this means more work, stress, anxiety. I have to exhaust myself. I have to deplete myself. I have to disconnect, right? Those are the old paradigms that have been internalized by systemic oppression, by ancestrally. You can look at your mother, your father, your family, where that has been modeled to you, because that's dominant in our society. This is why it's revolutionarily rich in my world to completely flip the script on that and let money feel regenerative. So this isn't about money for the sake of money. And if you're in my world, you already know this. If you're new here, welcome, my love. Welcome to the party, where this isn't about money for the sake of money. This is about money to create massive change. And in order for you to serve at your absolute highest level as a visionary, we're going to regenerative multi-millions. This is why people who are already at millions come to work with me, because they want it to feel regenerative, right? Not where you're not having the quality and the depth and the richness of life that you deserve, right? So whether you're just starting and you're ready to set this foundation in your nervous system for regenerative money to fuel your whole business ecosystem and to allow yourself to rise and thrive with wilder money that feels easeful and joyful and pleasurable and liberated, or whether you're already at a high level of success, but you're ready to completely shift the way that you are stewarding and receiving money, Here We Grow is for you. And Edge of Expansion is an amazing place to step in and experience these shifts internally in your own somatic container for yourself inside of my world. Because the difference between what I see, the people who are in this for the long haul, which you are, because you are someone that is stretching yourself, rising into your wildest, wealthiest leader, and you desire to be overflowing into your community, is that the biggest mission that you have to serve hundreds or thousands of humans with your magic, with your medicine that's so unique to what you have to offer the world, the only way you are going to be able to serve that and actually feel replenished and actually feel rejuvenated and feel energized and feel alive is through co-creating regenerative wealth with yourself, with money in your business. And I'm the coach for you if you're ready to step into that and you're ready to go all in on yourself and make the kinds of changes in your body, in your nervous system that are going to allow for your long-term growth to turn you on and to feel pleasurable, so that this isn't something that you are continuing to repeat the old cycles of stressing yourself out, leading to burnout, or feeling so drained or so depleted because you're overgiving and under receiving, or because you are overworking, or because the way that you are working and relating with your business is actually not regenerative, right? And you don't know until you know. This is why there's a lot of blind spots that all of a sudden become visible when you come into my world, and the kinds of shifts that happen in just one call, in one session, in 1 week, transform your entire life. I have clients who come into my world and say that our one-on-one work within 6 months and 12 months has been more impactful than the work that they've done with dozens of other coaches for a number of years, some of them up to 10 or 12 years in the industry. This is the power of rewiring your nervous system for wild overflow that I coach and teach you inside of my Wild Overflow method, and that we're going to be going deep into inside of Edge of Expansion. So 5 years ago, I came here in Costa Rica, and I knew what was possible, but I had no idea, and I couldn't imagine the life that I'm living now, where it's 5 years later, 6,000 in 10 days, just over a week, 40K in a day from the way that I have shifted my own relationship on a deep internal nervous system level with money to allow for it to be a life giving resource to me and to my entire community inside of our Here We Grow ecosystem. And we're going deep inside of Edge of Expansion this Wednesday. The price is rising to $333, so you must join us live to receive it for free. And if you join after we are live, you will get to pay, you'll get to invest $333 to experience this expansion portal. And the timing is so perfect because I just went through a massive expansive retreat here in Costa Rica, and I'm going into another expansive retreat in a couple days in, well, that's a secret. You'll find out soon. And so the timing of this is so perfect because one of the things that I love to teach and I coach and I support my clients in is the more we receive, the more we have to give. So the more that I receive, the more that I overflow into you and the more that you expand as well. And the reason I am here now, 5 years later in Costa Rica with 40K days, 60K in 10 days, is because I continue to edge my expansion beyond the limits, the fears, the resistance that showed up every time I was at a new edge. So all of the edges that have continued to show up, alchemizing, leaning into pleasure, deciding and choosing and showing up for the wildest vision, and then rewiring the nervous system around money to allow that liberated expression, that liberated feeling, quality connection with money to then fuel me, my body of work, my clients, is why my clients are also blowing up right now and why you will blow up once you join my spaces. So DM me, edging, if you're joining us for Edge of Expansion, and drop here in the comments a yes or what's landing for you or something that sparked or excited or activated you while you were listening into this. And we are in the final days, the last period of the pre-party for Wild Overflow. So if you're someone that knows that you're ready to go all in and you don't really need to take the baby steps, you just can feel it on a soul level, on an intuitive level, like that's how I am. They're like, oh yes, this is my person. I'm the mentor for you. I'm the coach for you. And you want to go deep, DM me and we can talk about Wealth Mind, my Wild Overflow Wealth Mind, which is the space for high level visionaries who are creating massive change, social change, and regenerative wealth through Wild Overflow, and where I'm going to guide you and support you and give you personalized somatic rewiring to allow for you to experience and to steward, be a sexy steward of the wildest wealth that you've ever experienced in your whole life. So it's an honor to be here with you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you inside of Edge of Expansion.